I saw this video in the story news item. I'm going to relate to it or relate it. Okay, this zoo somewhere, and they have one of the viewing ports. You can go down and you sit there. There's a big window of glass, and you can look at whatever's in there. And this particular cage was gorillas. So there's an adult and a baby gorilla. And so this woman comes there twice a week, and she stares at this baby gorilla. And she's doing it, twice a week, every week. And she's doing it, like for 10 years or something. She's doing it a long time. And the zookeepers say, don't do that. That's a sign of aggression. If you stare at a gorilla, that doesn't mean you're amazed or you're afraid of them. That means you're hostile. That's what a gorilla looks for an enemy, is someone who stares at them. And believe it or not, cats are kind of like that, house cats too. I've noticed that, if you get someone that comes into your house that doesn't like cats, they try not to look at the cat, and the cat will come right over to them sometimes because he perceives that that person isn't a threat. Where someone who likes cats will stare at the cat, and the cat's like, no, I don't want, you're aggressive. I don't want you. So with this gorilla, she does that. Well, so then, I don't know where the zookeepers are, but there's some kids in there. They start throwing rocks at the gorilla, And the gorilla gets angry, of course. And he actually jumps his cage. In other words, there's no top on the cage. And there's like 11 foot, there's like a double security thing. But he gets over them. And he's really mad. He's running around. He finds the woman, and he hugs her, and everything's happily ever after, right? No. That's how it ends on, TV plots. But in real life, the gorilla finds her, he beats on her, he bites her, then he sits on her. And, they have to come and, physically remove the gorilla off this woman, and the woman's in the hospital. And then, this is real life too, right? Oh, he didn't know what he was doing. We have a special bond. So, as soon as she's better again, she's going to go back to the zoo and stare at this poor animal again and create conflict in him. And it's just like, they should kind of like ban her from the thing. But, it's so crazy. You would think, I thought when I was watching the thing that there would be a happy ending, because there's been some remarkable things where there was one case that got quite a bit of news coverage where, and the zoo is in Europe somewhere, but a kid falls into the gorilla enclosure. In other words, there's a wall somehow, and, you fall off that wall, there's a fence, you fall off, you end up in the gorilla cage. Well, what happens is a female gorilla immediately goes over to him and shields him from the male gorilla that isn't too happy that this other creature is in the cage with them. And she shields him, brings him over to the door where the keeper, brings in food and different things like that or whatever. And they open the door, and she gives the kid to the gorilla. And then there's this other story of this woman. She has a newborn, and she's holding the newborn. And so the gorilla, in this case, it's a female gorilla. She goes, gets her, her young gorilla, her child, I guess you'd say, although it's not a human child, right? And she comes and holds it so that they're both doing the same thing. But so, animals can be amazing, but they also can be really wild and dangerous. Like, it's never safe to have a wild animal near you and be unprotected, as so many people have found out. There was this one case, and this was kind of, a little gory, kind of amazing, but this woman is giving a tour of the zoo. And, you have these two, just like we have a animal park up in Gray, Maine, and there's two fences. There's like the fence inside, and then a buffer zone and another fence to make it, for a human to get to them is going to be really, really difficult. Or going the other way is going to be really, really difficult. So the zookeeper's giving a tour. Well, she goes in through that first gate as in the second gate. Okay, second, there's one fence between her and the animals. So here, let me bring a little more shade in here there. And I think she had, oh, that made it worse. So she is given this tour, and she's inside these two fences. And she's really kind of close to the other fence. And even the people are saying she's the tiger, she's at the tiger enclosure. And, oh, there it is. Sometimes I'll take a book or something and just shield that part of the camera. That didn't do it. It's got to get on it. There we go. Close enough for now. And she's near the tiger cage. She's too near. And the people there that she's giving the tour to are like, you need to move. You need to move. Oh, no, this animal, he's really docile. We work with him, feed him and everything. And what does this tiger do? He reaches out, grabs the woman's arm, and yanks it off her body. Physically dislocates at the shoulder, but not over this, rips. So the tiger's got her arm and takes it to the back of the closure. And even after all this happened, they have an interview by the woman, and she says, "Oh no, the animal, he didn't mean to do that," or something like that. She had some, it wasn't his fault. Well, that's true. It wasn't his fault. You were within reach. You're someone he can view as, they are in captivity. And I'm sure some of these animals really don't like it. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong to do as long as you treat the animals as humanely as you can, because I think zoos offer people an experience of seeing wildlife that don't normally see it, and therefore they're going to be more in tune to try to preserve wildlife, I think. But, they ripped her arm off and went off and started chomping up. They got the arm back and everything. I forget what ended up with the tiger. There was this polar bear, my sister told me this, who lives in Alaska, named Blinky, right? And people get too close to the cage again. And basically what would happen, they called it the Blinky catch and release. The polar bear would reach out and grab someone through the cage and hold on to them for a while. I don't know what kind of damage they did. And then it would let them go. So it was like, and this happened, a number of times with people just being so stupid as to, an animal, if the animal's got a reach of, let's just say 4 feet, you want to be 8 feet away from that and make sure there's a solid, steady, steel cage between you. But, now they're having a continual problem. Almost every week there's a video of some person, tourist, being a jerk with wild animals in the state or the national parks. And it's like, no, you don't try to take a selfie with a buffalo or a bison or a muskox or a moose or whatever, whatever's there. That just doesn't work. Animals are wild. You get in their little circle, you're going to be in trouble. And here's some news. Unless you've been harassing a Galapagos tortoise, they can all run way faster than you. You're not going to get away. This one guy, there's a film with this too, is this researcher. Well, he's in the Galapagos Island, and there's these turtles. They're mating. And the guy gets close so he can, he's a researcher, he's just not a tourist, so he can take some photographs and things. Well, this interrupts the mating. And what follows is a slow speed chase. This large Galapagos that when he's moving fast, he can't go as fast as a person who's walking fast can go, but he's not like giving up. So this follows him for quite a distance, and he's just not, he's mad, and he's going to get this person. So no matter what the animal is, just don't do it. They're wild, and they have certain instincts They want to defend themselves. They don't want you messing with them. And you should be bright enough. You know, we're the ones with the big brains. We should be bright enough to not do that. But like I say, it seems like the IQ of animal smarts that people have are just going down and down every year. Bye.